My finances are a mess, and this is the messiest that they've been in a long time. This is the messiest they've been, oh my gosh, I want to say like 6 to 8 months. So today we're going to be cleaning them up. I am going to be taking you guys through what I do when I need to get my finances back on track, get my budgeting back on track, get my system back on track, just get everything back on track related to my personal finances, because it's okay to fall off. It's okay to lose track of where your money's going. It's okay to go off budget, but we just want to bring it back on track as quickly as we can. So I hope you're going to enjoy this video. It's like we're doing everything in real time. So I'm a little bit nervous. Let's get into it. Okay, let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a mid-month money update. This one is going to look a little different than usual. And no, not because of the weird lighting, because there's a thunderstorm happening outside. This video is going to be a little bit different because, like I just said, my finances are a mess. I have completely just not even paid attention to my finances since we did the monthly reset together at the beginning of June. So normally when I film these personal finance videos, I have a little bit of a plan or a script, or I've done a little bit of work beforehand to get ready to then share everything with you guys. But today I've literally not done anything except set up my camera. Maggie's drinking water. And I opened up my budget tracker. We are going to be using this a lot today, and I made a coffee. So because I've gone quite off track with my usual budgeting systems, my original thought was okay, I'm gonna film this video, I'm gonna sit down, clean everything up before I come on camera, and then sit down and talk with you guys as usual. But I figured this was actually the perfect opportunity to really show you guys what I do when I do get off track, and just for you guys to see how simple it is to get back on track when you've got a system that works for you. And I guess also just to share, it's normal to get off track, and we'll talk about why I got off track. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I just want to show you guys my tools that I'm going to be using throughout this video. Other than that, I don't have much of a plan for how this is going to go, but we're going to get our together, our financial together. So I showed you guys the budget tracker. This is going to be our best friend today. We're going to be using the heck out of this because we haven't touched it in a while. We've got cash envelopes, and we've got more cash envelopes. These are going to be secondary. I really want to focus today on the budget tracker and just seeing what I've spent, what do I have left, and getting myself set up for the month. I also want to thank The Line for sponsoring this video. They are also the creator of both of those tools that I just showed you guys. The Line has so many amazing products related to personal finance or just related to stationery in general. I love The Line so much. They are a small company based out of Vancouver, and I always say this, but their products have changed my life. So I'm so grateful to them for sponsoring this video. I'm going to be walking you guys through the budget tracker today and showing you all of its amazing features and how it's helped me so much. So I'm just really grateful to The Line's continued partnership. As always, I will have all of the toolkit linked down below, and there's a special code for you guys to get 10% off your purchase of anything on The Line's website. So highly recommend you check them out down below, and thank you so much to The Line for sponsoring. Okay, let's talk about what went down. Why am I off track? Blah, blah, blah. So today's June 15th. I'm right on time filming this, and I just got back from vacation in Hawaii. That might explain the little tan that I got. Basically, at the beginning of the month, I did my classic money reset, took out cash, did my budget in cash with the cash envelopes, everything like that. And the first week I would say was normal. The only thing a little bit out of character was I went for a really expensive breakfast one day by myself. But anyway, really though, my focus was getting prepared to go to Maui, and I was just so excited. And so that's all that I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking too much about my finances, nothing like that. I was just excited to go on my trip. And I definitely underestimated how much I was going to spend on vacation. I'm so lucky that in the past couple of years, pretty much everywhere that I've traveled to has been to visit family, or there's been family at that destination or friends. And so we haven't been paying hotels, and we hadn't been paying like a lot of meals, because when you're staying with friends or you're staying with family, like you have that opportunity to just buy groceries and cook, which obviously saves you so much money. So with all of that in mind, I knew I would have to pay for a hotel, but I kind of forgot that when you are traveling, most of the time, unless you're in some kind of resort or again, staying with family or even like in an Airbnb where there's a kitchen, let's just say if you're staying in a hotel, you've got to buy breakfast, you've got to buy lunch, and you've got to buy dinner, and you've got to buy any snacks in between. And that shit's expensive. So very naively, I brought like $200 cash with me and I was like, this will last me the week. No, it definitely did not. I don't even think I brought 200. I think I brought $100 US and the rest I brought Canadian, thinking I would just exchange it if I needed to. But of course, Hawaii is in the United States and they just take card everywhere. So I ended up using my card a lot, which I think is really what's making me feel like I'm off track, because you guys probably know I do most of my spending with cash for my day-to-day purchases. Anytime that I go grab a coffee, go get groceries, go to the restaurant, I'm paying with cash, and I'm paying with Canadian cash, and that is my routine. And so this past week, putting most of the purchases on credit, it's really thrown me off, and I genuinely have no idea how much I have spent so far this month, or specifically how much I spent while on vacation, because I wasn't keeping track of my purchases. I wasn't inputting them into the budget tracker as I went. I was just like tap, tap, tap. And that, you guys, is why the cash system works so well for me, because I don't have control when it comes to my credit card, and that's okay. And I get a lot of comments. I shouldn't say a lot. I get comments from time to time being like, cash is, who cares about cash? Like, why are you living in the Stone Age? Like, what are you doing? And that's fine if that's what you think. And yes, cash is old school, but for me, the old school method is what works, because this week I really demonstrated to myself that yeah, when I am spending on credit, I don't feel as in control. I don't like the feeling as much. I love my little cash routine, and that's that. So we're gonna do some investigative journalism today. We are going to go through my credit card statements and figure out what the heck I spent while I was on vacation. And the other thing that I embarrassingly have to admit is when I did my monthly reset, my money reset, I forgot to I closed everything up from the previous month in my budget tracker, but I did not set myself up for the following month. I didn't set myself up for June in terms of like goal setting and also just inputting all of the parameters that I put in terms of what I want to spend. So without further ado, let's dive into my budget tracker and let's start getting set up. Take a sip first. Now listen, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Normally I feel like old me, I would have been so hard on myself for like breaking my budget or straying, or I'd be stressing. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself because I'm really just looking at this right now as not an opportunity to be hard on myself, not an opportunity to be mad at myself, but a chance to say I had so much fun on vacation. I'm so grateful that I was able to go. Maui is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And this is just a learning opportunity for me to learn how to better budget for a vacation, and also to practice getting back on track, because we're always gonna have these things that throw us off. So I'm really proud of my mindset towards getting back on track. And this kind of feels like my more old school videos where I would sit down and film a monthly money and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, it kind of feels like that. So let's grab my computer. I'm gonna open up my budget tracker. So let me give you guys a quick walkthrough of the budget tracker in case anyone's new or wants to see what this is all about. The one you are currently looking at is not actually mine, Zoey's. This is like a dummy one that I use just for like demonstration purposes. I shouldn't say dummy, but you know what I mean. So right when you open it up, you see that there is a yearly summary, but this is just gonna show you your total spending, your total income, where is your money going, and it's broken up into these really nice charts. This tab is completely auto-populated, so you don't have to do anything aside from your day-to-day and month-to-month budgeting. In the budget tracker, this will populate all by itself. This next tab is your expense categories. So this is where you would put in all of the ways that you want to separate and segment your spending. So you can see here, the examples are like alcohol, coffee, eating out, gifts, groceries, luxury, miscellaneous, personal shopping, etc. Mine look different. I'll show you mine after. The other tabs throughout will pull the information of the spending categories from this one here. Next up is the expense log. This is where I spend most of my time. This is where every day or every few days, once a week, you want to be coming in and inputting everything that you've spent. Of course, the easiest would be to just have this tab open on your computer all the time and like come in every day. This is where I haven't touched it in 2 weeks, where normally I touch it a couple times a week. Every time you buy something, you'd come in, you'd put the date, the category pulls from that previous tab. So you would select the category, a brief description, and then put in the amount. Next, you have the tabs for the individual months. I would say this is like where you're gonna spend the second most amount of your time. And what's really cool about this budget tracker is, yes, it starts with January, but you can start this anytime. Right now is June, perfect time to start. If you're watching this video in October, perfect time to start. It doesn't matter because you can just come in and re-put in the dates and it's just gonna pull from whatever you input in here. And then the following year, you can make a copy, wipe everything clean, and use it again the next year. So you're never gonna run out of use for this. And again, it's never too late to start. You do not need to wait until New Year's. You don't need to wait until the mid-year. You can do this whenever you want. So let's move over to June. Once again, this is not my budget, but I just want to show you guys everything that's in green is automatically populated. So your cash flow up here, the pie chart, the bar graph, all of this is automatically populated from whatever you fill in down here. The section where I spend the most time is here in the expense summary, because this works hand in hand with my cash envelopes. So these descriptions, this is all pulling from your expense categories. So I use the same expense categories that I use with my cash envelopes. I go in and then I input here at the beginning of the month the budget amount that I set. So let's say for groceries, for me, it's always $400. Then throughout the month, as I input things into my expense log, throughout the month, it's gonna come back in here and populate this green number. So you'll be able to see your actual spending compared to your budgeted spending. Usually for me, I like to check in here about once a week to see, okay, how much cash do I have left in my envelope? How's my spending doing? Without having to go in and manually count my cash every single week. So this really helps keep me on track. I really like this expense summary. I have to say it's my favorite feature of the budget tracker. In the middle here, you have your bill payments. So this can be your rent, your phone bill, your internet, etc. This is nice just to get a glance at your fixed expenses, and over time, if they're changing, maybe if you moved or something, you can see trends and stuff like that. On the left here, you have your income summary. So you can put in your corporate job if you have one, your side hustle, your part-time job, whatever that looks like. You can input whatever you put in to savings. And there's also a section that I really like with your monthly goals. You can come in here and write down your monthly goals. And then there's this fun checkbox for when you achieve your goals, which I personally love. Debt repayments, you can put them down in here, as well as your investments. So I just closed the camera for a moment and went into my budget tracker and filled in the correct numbers. Usually what I do to make things simple is I'll just copy all of the information from the previous month and then I'll edit it in case there are any changes. Now, this should have been done at the beginning of the month. Like as soon as I set my budgets per category, I should be going in here and inputting them. I just completely forgot this month. While I was looking at it, the other thing I noticed that's funny is I just really did, I don't want to be hard on myself and say a bad job, but I didn't do the best job forecasting for this month because I kept my dining out budget pretty much the same as usual, and I kept my groceries budget the same as usual when basically a quarter of each should have gone into my vacation bucket because I'm not here buying groceries. I was in Maui eating macadamia nut pancakes. So I'm gonna do a little adjustment with my cash at the end of this video. Let me just show you guys quickly what my budget looks like for the month. So here you guys can see on the screen my actual budget tracker for the month of June. So I already went through all of these categories here in my How I Budget video at the beginning of the month, so we won't spend too much time, but you can see in the green column, there's like a lot of zeros. It says I spent $180. This is not accurate. So we're gonna go in and fill this in a minute. In the middle, you guys can see my bill payments. These are fixed, these are the same every single month, and there aren't a ton listed here because a lot of my amenities like internet, hydro, etc. are included in both my home and my office rent. So I just lump all of these together. My car payments, I count them as bill payments. You could look at them as debt repayment, but because they happen automatically, I include them here as bills. My first car payment of the month already came out and my second one is coming. You guys, I am so close to paying off my car. I'm so excited. Like every month when I see that number go lower and lower on my loan, I just get so excited. Random mini tangent, but I think I am going to set myself a goal throughout the summer to pay off my car faster than anticipated. Basically, my goal was to have it paid off by New Year's, but watching that number shrink is so satisfying, and soon it's gonna be to a number where I can just pay it off in one shot. So that's like a little goal that I'm setting for myself for the summer. But first things first, I gotta figure out how much I spent on this trip and make sure that gets paid off. And then I haven't put in my income yet. I always sit down and do my income one shot at the end of the month. Because I'm a freelancer, because I work part-time, like I work freelance full-time and then I have a part-time job, my income is so variable that I don't like to constantly be watching my bank to like see how much I earned and blah, blah, blah. I like to just sit down at the end of the month, one shot, look at how much I earned. It makes me feel a lot more abundant seeing everything in one shot than just tracking these one-off payments where I'm like, oh my God, I only got $400. Oh, what am I gonna do? Which like, that's how I used to act. Now that I have my 1 month ahead set up, I'm a lot more stable and confident, and I'm able to wait until the end of the month to add up all of my earnings, and that way feel a lot more abundant and a lot more stable, and it's just a better feeling. So that's why that is blank for now. So you guys can see like the graph up here is like super skewed. Not everything is accurate, but as I go in, once I do go in and add that income, once I add in all of my spending, these graphs up here are gonna change. For today, we're just gonna go in and add the spending. Now it's time for the part that I've been dreading. And it's so funny because I haven't had to do this in so long, where I used to have to like pour over my credit card statements and really understand, like go through and look at every single purchase. Because now I do mostly everything on cash, I go through and I look at my receipts, which to me is a lot more fun than, okay, let me walk you guys through this. You make a coffee, you sit down at your desk, you're like, all right, it's time to do budgeting. You open up your credit card statement, $2,500, that's so much money. Oh my God. And then you start freaking out and you start spiraling. What did I do? Oh my God, how am I gonna pay this off? What did I even buy? I don't know where this came from. And then line by line, you go through and you're like, okay, it's not so bad. But that initial panic sucks, right? Like that initial panic, even though it ends up being not so bad, that initial panic sucks. And what I love about the cash is I avoid that initial panic because I've set my amount at the beginning of the month and I just go through my receipts one by one. So rather than looking at a whole big picture and then breaking it down and understanding where it comes from, I get to understand where it comes from and then see the big picture. And I like that a lot better. Now, I always say this, but my cash spending is really just my day-to-day. When I feel like treating myself, when I splurge and buy new activewear, when I splurge and buy new clothes, like whatever it may be, yes, those go on my credit card most of the time. Sometimes I do it with cash, but most of the time, bigger purchases go on credit. And sometimes those give me a little surprise. But where my credit card bills used to be $4,000, they're now like $1,000, $1,500, which are numbers that are still high. They're still high because, you know, the most expensive stuff is passing through my credit cards, but they're way more manageable and I don't freak out as much. So that is amazing. Let me put you guys down on the desk. I'm gonna go through my 2 credit card statements. I have an American Express and a MasterCard. Gonna go through those statements one by one, line by line, and input everything into the budget tracker. that took a while. That is one of the other perks of the budget tracker, is like when you do it consistently, it saves you so much time at the end of the month or the mid-month. Like just doing a little bit of budgeting every day or a little bit multiple times a week saves you from having to sit down for so much longer a few times a month. And I don't know, it helps you stay on track. And it's not that I don't like sitting down and doing it. It's just, I guess there's other things I'd like to be doing. I think too, the other thing is like the longer it takes, the more it feels overwhelming, which me personally, the more something is overwhelming, the more I avoid it. So yeah, like when I know it's gonna take a long time, I tend to try and avoid it, which is why it's so good that I film these videos, but it's also better to just be on top of it. So I had a lot of expenses to input. You guys can see for June, there is quite a bit. I put a little flag on the side for everything that I spent on credit. The very first one is groceries that I checked. I already paid myself back. Basically, whenever I buy something on credit that is meant to come out of an envelope, I take the cash out of the envelope, put it into a different envelope called spent on credit, which I'll show you in a second. And that prevents me from overspending in the cash categories. But now here we can see on vacation, we see all the spent on credit. I'm gonna add everything up. Oh my God, it's really not that bad. Oh wait, no, I'm missing some. I was like, what? Okay, hold on a minute here. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. So including the hotel, everything that I spent on credit on my vacation adds up to $1,974. This includes the hotel that will be split in two with my boyfriend. I put it on my credit card, but we're gonna split the hotel in half. What it doesn't include is the airfare and the car rental, which he put on his credit card. So we have to reconcile between the two of us, between each of us paying 50-50 for the flights and the car rental as well as the hotel. I think the hotel was actually the most expensive, so I think he's gonna be giving me a little bit of money, but I'm not 100% sure yet what that's gonna look like. If we take out the hotel, my spending goes way down to 378 Canadian, which is, when you think about it, like it's a lot for 1 week, $400 on just living and enjoying life. It also could be a lot worse. So I'm okay with this. The great news is that I put aside, I think I put aside $1,700 for this vacation. So I think I'm gonna have it pretty much covered, which is amazing. First time in my history that I would go on a trip that like I actually had the money saved up in advance, which is chef's kiss, such a beautiful feeling. But yeah, that's what I spent on credit and on vacation. You guys might notice here, if you've got a keen eye, I did buy myself a little Coach bag. I actually bought this here. I didn't buy it on vacation. And I did a little unboxing of that in the vlog that's going to be going up very soon. So you guys will see that. It was $137. I splurged, I treated myself. I got some good news and I was like, F it, I'm gonna buy this bag. It was from the Coach outlet, I couldn't resist. And then there were just a couple other purchases here with cash. I'm actually not gonna go through every single purchase in this video because I wanna do a full what I spend in a month video at the end of the month. So to see my full spending breakdown, just make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye out for that video. But now I'll put it up on the screen. You guys can see the budget breakdown is fully populated. So now I know how much I have left in each of my categories for the rest of the month moving forward. Now, in order to offset some of the vacation, I'm going to be taking some cash out of two of my envelopes to put into my spent on credit just to help me cover some of the cash because like I said, groceries and dining out, I didn't lower those amounts thinking that I was going on vacation. I didn't really consider that. So I want to take a bit of money out of there because we're already halfway through the month. I don't want to get tempted to see the money and then just spend it because it's there. So I'm going to take it away to pay off my credit cards and also help contribute to this trip and some of the other things that I bought on credit throughout the month, like the bag. Oh, and also I should show you this. The other day I went to the pharmacy, I bought a new deodorant and I didn't have my envelopes on hand. So I spent on credit. So what I do, the deodorant was $20, it was native, it was expensive. I take out 20 bucks from the envelope that I spent on and I put it into this spent on credit envelope. What I love about these cash envelopes, aside from everything that I just mentioned, is it's you who controls what they say. So these are from the line and you get to customize these envelopes. She sells them in little packs, so you can do like a starter pack. I have, oh my gosh, I have so many envelopes at this point, but I started with I think 5 or 8 and then I just grew my little collection from there as you kind of budget and learn. So it's really nice, like spent on credit, maybe not everyone has this one, but you get to customize it to say whatever you want. So I'm gonna take $60 from dining out to help out future me, 2 for $60. Now, because I don't want this to skew my budget at the end of the month, I'm gonna go back into my expense log and just input that I took the money out of dining out. So I'm gonna mark it as the dining out category and I'm gonna write cash taken for self payback, $60. Then I'm gonna go into my groceries envelope and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna take out $80, 2 for $60, $80. That leaves me in here, from what I can see, with $100 left to the end of the month. That should be more than enough because I just bought groceries yesterday. So here we have 2 for $6, $8, $140 to help out future me. Love it. We're gonna put that into spent on credit. Okay, I feel so refreshed now that that is done. I feel like I'm back on track. Honestly, it's just such a good feeling when you're feeling confident about your budget, when you're feeling on track. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you go off, that's okay. We just wanna get back on. So feeling so much better. I feel like I can confidently go into the rest of the month now. I really have grown to not like that feeling of not knowing where my money is going. It makes me feel insecure, honestly. So we're back to feeling secure now. It's super good. I love knowing now exactly how much I spent on vacation. I know that it's manageable. I know that I have saved for most, if not all of it. Just need to reconcile with JS. Maybe we'll do that tonight and just figure out like what everyone spent to make sure that it's fair. Also, just a quick side note, the way that we do spending as a couple on vacation is anything like fixed-ish. So let's say the hotel, the flights, car rental, we split that 50-50 so that it's equal for everyone. And then when it comes to eating out, like he'll pay for breakfast and I'll pay for breakfast. We'd kind of just, I don't know what the proper word for that is, but like he gets it one time, I get it the other time, and like we don't count, we don't keep track, we just treat each other, and like every little outing feels like a date. And that's just the way that works for us. Okay, you guys, we have made it to the end of this video. Let me know, you guys, if you would like a midpoint goals check-in. I can definitely film that probably in the month of July, just because I have a lot of other videos coming up to film. But that's gonna be a wrap on this mid-month check-in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for getting your shit together with me. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to The Line for sponsoring. I love you guys so much. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.